San Francisco reveals itself not in a single glance, but in the slow drift of fog that pulls back like a curtain, unveiling a city shaped by legends, tides, and restless imagination. Its hills ripple across the landscape like waves made of stone, shaping a city that moves with both grace and grit. Cable cars climb these inclines with a familiar rattle, carrying the echoes of the countless lives that have held on through the years. And the Golden Gate Bridge stands tall above the water, a vivid streak of red that feels less like architecture and more like a gateway to the extraordinary. Yet the city's true character is revealed not in its famous silhouettes, but in the mysteries tucked just out of sight. Have you ever stepped onto Alcatraz and felt the air tighten, as if the island itself remembers every voice that was once trapped there? Or wandered Fisherman's Wharf in the early morning quiet, where the scent of the sea mixes with fresh bread and the promise of adventure. In Chinatown, lantern-lit corridors conceal centuries of culture, resilience, and rituals shaped far from these shores. And from the crown of Coit Tower, the entire bay unfolds beneath you like a living mosaic of stories, secrets, and shifting tides. Now, let's test your eye for this city of wonders. Share your answer in the comments, and if you're ready to uncover more cities that hold their own legends, hit subscribe. Our journey is only beginning. Coit Tower. High above the neighborhoods and waterfronts of San Francisco, Coit Tower rises from the summit of Telegraph Hill with a clarity and poise that make it one of the city's most commanding silhouettes. The 210-foot monument came to life in 1933 through the bequest of Lily Hitchcock Coit, whose admiration for the city and for the firefighters who once inspired her, left a lasting architectural legacy. Henry Howard's design embraces a smooth, tapering column that rejects ornamentation, relying instead on proportion and light to define its character. Inside, the lobby shifts dramatically in tone as bold fresco murals unfold across the walls, each one painted by local artists documenting work, struggle, and social change. In 1930s San Francisco, commissioned under the New Deal's public art program, the murals quickly drew national attention and controversy for their candid depiction of class and urban life during a turbulent era. Today, these artworks serve as a vivid historical lens, offering insight into a moment when artists used public walls to speak openly about the city's realities. For visitors who explore its interior, as well as its hilltop vantage point, Coit Tower becomes more than an overlook. It becomes a cultural archive suspended above the bay. Alcatraz Island. Alcatraz Island sits at the center of San Francisco Bay as a stark silhouette, its geology and architecture revealing a layered history shaped by conflict, strategy, and human resilience. Long before it became a symbol of incarceration, the island served as a critical military fortification and the site of the first lighthouse guiding ships along the western United States. From 1934 to 1963, it operated as a maximum security federal penitentiary, holding notorious figures such as Al Capone and George Machine Gun Kelly, individuals whose reputations amplified the island's already formidable aura. Its story, however, extends far beyond its cells. The 1969 occupation by Native American activists marked a pivotal chapter in indigenous civil rights and reshaped national conversations about sovereignty. Today, incorporated into the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, Alcatraz offers sweeping perspectives of San Francisco, pairing natural beauty with an unfiltered view of its historic infrastructure. A walk through the cell house, past isolation chambers, mess halls, and narrow walkways, provides visitors with a rare, immersive glimpse into the daily reality of those once confined here. Seabirds now dominate the landscape, establishing thriving colonies along the rugged cliffs and bringing new ecological value to a place once associated with desolation. Blending military legacy, cultural activism, natural ecology, and haunting architecture, Alcatraz endures as one of San Francisco's most intellectually and emotionally compelling sites to explore. Palace of Fine Arts. In the Marina District, the Palace of Fine Arts emerges like a tranquil mirage, its grand arches and sculpted columns creating a scene that feels lifted from an ancient world rather than a modern city. Created for the 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition, the structure reflected San Francisco's determination to rise stronger after the 1906 earthquake reshaped its future. The rotunda's soaring dome and the curving colonnades embrace a quiet lagoon, forming one of the city's most peaceful pockets where water, architecture, and sky meet effortlessly. Over the years, the site has evolved beyond its origins, becoming a gathering place where art exhibits, private events, and creative communities breathe new life into the historic grounds. The surrounding lawns and shaded pathways invite unhurried walks, spontaneous photo sessions, and quiet moments beside the shimmering water. Its unmistakable silhouette has drawn Hollywood's attention for decades, earning appearances in classics like Vertigo, action hits like The Rock, and even animated tributes like Big Hero 6. More than an architectural relic, the Palace of Fine Arts stands today as a graceful fusion of history, imagination, and enduring cultural identity, one of San Francisco's most beloved places to wander, reflect, or simply be still. The Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge stretches 1.7 miles across the strait that bears its name, rising from the water like a red ribbon pulled taut between San Francisco and the Pacific. When it opened in 1937, the idea of a suspension bridge of this scale felt almost impossible, yet it quickly became the link that reshaped the way people moved through the Bay Area. Its bold international orange color cuts through the city's signature fog, chosen so the bridge would stand clearly against the silver-gray backdrop of the coast. Look up at its 746-foot towers, and you'll see the blend of Art Deco influence and industrial precision that gives the bridge its timeless power. More than 2 billion crossings later, it remains a living part of daily life, carrying commuters, travelers, and dreamers across its span. Walking or biking along the bridge offers an entirely different perspective. Baywater shifting below, Alcatraz rising in the distance, and the city skyline unfolding with every step. Just above the bridge, Battery Spencer provides one of the most striking views on the West Coast, especially in the golden glow of late afternoon. And thanks to decades of appearances in Hollywood films, the Golden Gate Bridge has become more than infrastructure. It's a cultural landmark woven into the world's collective imagination. Grace Cathedral. Grace Cathedral crowns the top of Nob Hill with quiet authority. Its French Gothic design, shaped by architect Louis Hobart, emerging from the city's rebuilding efforts after the 1906 fire. Inside its 7,290 square feet, stained glass windows, 2 contemplative labyrinths, 3 grand organs, including one with 7,466 pipes, and a 44-bell carillon reflect decades of craftsmanship, completed in 1964. Though a relatively modern structure, its bronze doors pay an intentional tribute to Ghiberti's Renaissance originals, blending European artistry with San Francisco's own cultural identity. Honored by historic figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and home to the city's Interfaith AIDS Chapel. Grace Cathedral stands today as a place where architecture, community, and spiritual history converge. Golden Gate Park. Golden Gate Park unfolds like a vast green kingdom carved into the heart of San Francisco. A landscape so expansive, it feels as if the city grew up around it rather than the other way around. Born in the late 19th century as a sanctuary for urban residents, the park has evolved into one of the nation's most visited escapes, shaped by decades of community care and cultural influence. Landmarks such as the De Young Museum, the California Academy of Sciences, and the Japanese Tea Garden weave together global art, scientific discovery, and centuries-old traditions. Miles of trails, open fields, and lakeside hideaways give visitors room to breathe, whether they're picnicking, wandering quietly, or rediscovering nature at their own pace. Season after season, festivals and concerts bring the park to life, turning its lawns and clearings into gathering places filled with food, music, and shared stories. Tip: the music concourse is one of the best spots for spontaneous performances. In every corner, from tranquil pathways to bustling cultural hubs, Golden Gate Park offers an experience that feels both timeless and distinctly San Francisco. cable cars. San Francisco's cable cars remain one of the city's most enduring emblems, a moving piece of living history that continues to shape its cultural identity. Gliding up and down the city's famously steep hills, they offer an experience that feels less like public transit and more like stepping into a timeless chapter of San Francisco's past. At the busy turnarounds, Powell, California, and Market, visitors gather with anticipation, watching as each cable car approaches with the charm of a relic still proudly in use. Once aboard, riders settle into wooden benches or grasp the side rails, leaning into the wind as the cityscape shifts dramatically with every block. The gripmen, masters of a rare and demanding craft, guide the cars by hand, working the underground cables with a precision passed down through generations. And from blocks away, the bright ring of the cable car bell cuts through the city's noise. A familiar signal that one of San Francisco's most beloved traditions is on the move again. City Hall. San Francisco. City Hall spans 2 full city blocks with a dignified presence, its Beaux-Arts silhouette rising as one of the city's most commanding civic landmarks. The original 1899 structure fell to the destruction of the 1906 earthquake, a turning point that pushed the city toward more ambitious and resilient architectural standards. Architect Arthur Brown Jr. responded with a design that fused classical refinement with meticulous craftsmanship, creating a building that feels both monumental from afar and intricately detailed up close. Everything within the structure, custom typefaces, ornate hardware, and carefully proportioned interiors reflects his belief that civic architecture should elevate the everyday experience. Its majestic dome, towering 42 feet above the height of the U.S. Capitals, ranks among the largest in the world and stands as a signature element of the San Francisco skyline. Inside, marble corridors, sweeping staircases, and luminous chandeliers create a sense of ceremony that has made the building a backdrop for countless historic and cultural moments. Beyond its architectural splendor, City Hall remains an active seat of government where policy, celebration, and public life intersect. Today, it continues to embody San Francisco's enduring spirit, resilient, expressive, and unafraid to rebuild itself with beauty and purpose. Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf stands at the heart of San Francisco's waterfront life, a district where maritime history and modern tourism intersect in a constant rhythm of sights, sounds, and stories. The area pulses with sensory details, the clang of passing cable cars, the chatter of crowds, and the unmistakable scent of freshly steamed Dungeness crab drifting from outdoor stalls. Visitors wander toward beloved attractions like Pier 39, the Aquarium of the Bay, and the Sky Star Observation Wheel, each adding its own layer to the neighborhood's lively character. Along Hyde Street Pier, historic vessels moored to wooden docks preserve the city's seafaring past, offering a glimpse into the working harbor that shaped early San Francisco. From the wharf, ferries glide across the bay toward Alcatraz and Angel Island, carrying travelers to two of the region's most iconic sites. For both longtime residents and first-time visitors, Fisherman's Wharf remains an essential stop, a vibrant blend of coastal culture, history, and unmistakable San Francisco charm. Alamo Square. Alamo Square rises above its surrounding neighborhoods as a hilltop retreat, offering sweeping views of downtown San Francisco and the famed Painted Ladies aligned just below. The park blends leisure with landscape design, featuring tennis courts, curated walking paths, blooming flower beds, and a multi-level playground for families. Dog owners frequent the western lawn, where off-leash areas create a lively community atmosphere. Beyond the familiar row of painted ladies, the district reveals an extensive collection of Victorian architecture, from ornate Queen Anne homes to elegant Italianate facades. Together, these preserved structures reflect layers of the city's architectural evolution and the cultural ambitions of early San Francisco. For visitors and locals alike, Alamo Square serves not only as a scenic vantage point, but also as an open-air archive of the city's architectural heritage and shifting identity. Lombard Street. Lombard Street, known worldwide for its dramatic switchbacks, stands as one of San Francisco's most distinctive urban landscapes. Its 8 tightly packed hairpin turns draw millions each year, all eager to weave down the serpentine roadway that has become a rite of passage for visitors. Flanked by manicured gardens and elegant homes, the slope reveals sweeping views of the Bay Bridge, and the silhouette of Coit Tower rising in the distance. The unlikely design, conceived in the 1920s, was engineered to make the hill's daunting grade more navigable for pedestrians and vehicles alike. Despite its fame, Lombard isn't technically the city's most crooked street. That title belongs to Vermont Street, though Lombard's floral charm and hillside drama claim the spotlight. The name Lombard itself holds no historical link to San Francisco, having been borrowed from a street in Philadelphia during early city planning. Today, the winding block remains a beloved symbol of the city, offering visitors a uniquely playful blend of history, engineering, and postcard-ready beauty. Chinatown. San Francisco's Chinatown unfolds as a dense cultural district shaped by generations of immigrants who built a community within the hills between North Beach and the financial district. Rather than relying solely on its restaurants and bustling storefronts, the neighborhood reveals its deeper history through institutions like the Chinese Historical Society of America and the Chinese Culture Center, where exhibitions reinterpret identity, migration, and artistic expression. Travelers searching for a more grounded perspective often join culinary and heritage walks that weave personal histories with the flavors and rituals that define daily life. Some guided experiences lead visitors into quieter corners, herbal apothecaries, family-run markets, and historic temples, spaces that speak to traditions preserved across decades of change. Explored with intention, Chinatown becomes far more than a tourist stop. It stands as a living narrative of resilience, cultural continuity, and the enduring presence of the Chinese-American community in San Francisco. Napa Valley. Just an hour north of San Francisco, Napa Valley unfolds as one of America's most celebrated wine landscapes, where rolling vineyards meet a deep tradition of craftsmanship. Although winemaking began here in the 19th century, it was the innovations of the 1960s that introduced clearly defined quality classifications and put Napa on the world stage. Its distinctive climate, shaped by cool marine air from San Pablo Bay and the protective embrace of the North Coast Ranges, creates a rare balance ideal for grape cultivation. Beneath the vines lies an unusually complex foundation. 6 of the world's 12 major soil types converge in this valley, allowing for remarkable diversity in flavor and character. Among all varietals grown here, Cabernet Sauvignon stands at the forefront, admired globally for its structure, richness, and nuance. With more than 400 family-owned wineries shaping the region, each bottle reflects a unique expression of land, heritage, and meticulous care. Today, Napa Valley stands as a global benchmark for excellence, a place where terroir, tradition, and innovation continue to define the future of American wine. Painted ladies. Bordering the crest of Alamo Square, the Painted Ladies present one of San Francisco's most refined and enduring vistas, an orderly row of Victorian elegance set against the sweep of a modern skyline. From their perch on Steiner Street, the homes reveal the city's architectural duality, intricate 19th-century craftsmanship in the foreground, steel and glass towers rising behind them in quiet tension. Still lived in by longtime residents, these houses offer more than a postcard moment. They preserve a chapter of the city's domestic history and the ornate design traditions that shaped early San Francisco neighborhoods. Their stately silhouettes have become fixtures in film and television, with Full House giving them international recognition and anchoring them in popular culture. The term "painted ladies," introduced in 1978, reflects a broader movement that celebrated Victorian and Edwardian homes through layered color schemes that highlight their elaborate details. Today, this iconic streetscape remains essential to understanding San Francisco's identity, an intersection where heritage, architecture, and urban life converge with effortless beauty.